Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make these beautiful galaxy dangle earrings done with the peyote stitch technique. For this project you are going to need these galaxy gems. Link to the video is in the description box, or any other oval rhinestones or gems. Then you are going to need Miyuki Delica beads in sizes 11, those are the pale ones, and size 13, they are the blue and the purple ones. Then you are going to need a needle which is thin enough to put the Miyuki beads through, but this shouldn't be a problem because the Miyuki beads have pretty big holes in them. Then you are going to need a thread. I like to use this nylon one because it is pretty hard to tear and it does not fray and it is easy to detangle. So let's get started. First I like to make a steady bead for my project, so I pick up one Delica bead of size 11, put it near the end of my thread, and then I put my needle one more time through the same bead to make it sit nicely on the thread so my project won't slip away from the thread. Then continue picking up as many beads as you need to fit around your gem snugly. To ease your work, you should pick up an even number of beads because it is easier to work with. So as you can see here, I need to pick up 2 more beads, so I'll do that. And when I'm done, I simply put my needle through the first steady bead I put on my thread. So I end up with a loop like this. So this is going to count as the first row of the peyote stitch. Then you are going to pick up one size 11 bead. You are going to skip one bead on the first row, and you are going to put your needle through the other bead on the loop. And as you can see, there is a little column of 2 beads followed by a single bead. So we are going to do this steps for the rest of the loop. So pick up one bead, skip one bead on the loop, and put your needle through the other bead on the loop. So you have another little column of 2 beads followed by a single bead, and your thread is coming out of the single bead. So continue these steps of picking up one bead, skipping one bead, and putting your needle through the other bead on the loop until you finish the whole loop. So I finished my second row of the peyote stitch, and I'm going to do the third row. So I'm putting my needle through one bead of the little column of 2. Doesn't really matter which bead you pick for this. Then I am going to pick up one Delica bead of size 11. I am going to skip the single bead on the loop, and I am going to put my needle through one bead of another little column of 2, pull my thread, and as you can see, I have 3 little columns of 2 beads following each other, so there are no single beads between the little columns left. So you are going to do this process, these steps, again for the whole loop until you have only little columns of 2 beads. There should be no single beads left. And that is going to be your third row of the peyote stitch. So for one of my oval gems, I needed to pick up an uneven number of beads, and as you can see, I don't have a single bead left. I have left 2 beads, so I am going to simply pick up 2 Delica beads of size 11, and they are going to act as the single beads. So if you are going to need an uneven number for your loops, this is how you want to end your loop. So make one more row, so you have a total of 4 rows with the peyote stitch with these rosy Delica beads of size 11. So you should have little columns of 3 followed by little columns of 2. So after the 4 rows you are going to switch your size 11 beads to size 13 beads. I chose my next color to be purple, and you are going to do the same steps of the peyote stitch with just with these purple beads. And the reason why we are switching to a smaller size of the beads is so when you pull the string or your thread, you can see the loop closing or becoming smaller. But that's exactly what we want, so the game can fit nicely into the loop. So I made 2 rows with the purple Delica beads of size 13, and my final row of the size 13 beads will be is going to be done with the blue Delica beads. So I'm doing here that. And after you finish the rows with the little Delica beads, you are going to put your gem into the loop. And then you are going to put your needle through the beads so that you end at the other side of the project, like this. And on the other side you are going to do the same steps with the size 13 beads. So that means you are going to do 2 rows with the peyote stitch technique with the purple Delica beads, and then 1 row with the blue Delica beads. Then I'm going to make some tassels around the pendant. So for this step I chose these lavender 4mm facetted beads by this brand, you can see. I'm going to put my needle through the beads so that I end in the middle bead of the little column of 3 rosy pink Delica beads of size 11. So there I'm showing it with the needle where you want to thread coming out. So I'm going to pick up 1 blue Delica bead of size 13, then 1 facetted lavender bead, and again 1 bead of size 13 in the color blue. Like this. And then you want to put your needle only through the facetted bead and the first Delica bead, so you want to skip the last Delica bead you picked up. And pull your thread tight so the tassel sits nicely on the pendant, and you want to put your needle through the next bead of the little column of 3 done with the rosy Delica beads. So you want the tassels to be exactly in the middle of the part we done with the rosy Delica beads. So now you want to attach the earring component. You want to you want your thread to exit between 2 of the little tassels you just made. So you're going to pick up 1 rosy Delica bead of size 11, 1 facetted lavender bead, then again 1 Delica, 1 facetted bead, and 1 Delica bead. So we have 3 Delicas and 2 facetted beads like this. Then you are going to pick up the earring hook. And you want to put your needle back through all the beads you just pick up, so you skip only the hook. Then pull your thread tight, so this tassel sits also nicely on the pendant. And you want to put your needle through some more beads on the pendant. And you want to sew through this tassel with the earring component one more time, just to make it a little stronger. When you are done attaching the earring hook, you want to cut and hide the excess thread. I like to leave a piece of the thread from the start of the project, so I have a little tail behind, left behind always in my projects. Sew through the beads with one thread, so I reach the other thread. And I like to make two simple knots with both ends of the thread, and then I sew through several beads with one thread at a time, so the knot won't slip. And when I run out of the thread, or I think that it is enough, that the thread is secured, I like to cut the thread with scissors or cuticle clippers just above the bead where the thread exits the pendant. And that's it. That's how you make these beautiful galaxy earrings. I hope you liked this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.